All right, in this video, we're going to cover mounting the Shield Sights RMS series of red dots. Here's the RMS-C, and it's a great fit for the Archon Type B because it is quite narrow, and it's a great fit also function-wise if you are maybe using this as an EDC, okay? Because there's not great waterproofing with it, but it is low profile. It's got a nice little, one of our favorites, nice little red dot right there, glass lens, and really lightweight as well. But it co-witnesses extremely well, which was one of the reasons why we adopted this optic very early on. The stock sights co-witness no problem. These aftermarket night sights co-witness no problem. But let's talk about the mounting and how long the screws have to be, because that is what you're going to be concerned with. Even when these ship, they ship with screws that are going to be too long that if you just throw the optic right on there, it's going to go into, the screw will actually go into that channel right there. So you don't want that to happen, because if it goes into that channel, it's going to disrupt the part number 43 in your manual, the firing pin guiding sleeve. Okay, it's going to disrupt that, and you'll mount your optic and go, gosh, what's wrong with my gun? Not even thinking that the screw went down into that channel. So most guns have a lot of slide to work with and a higher bore axis. So that's not an issue. That's why all the screws that come with these kits are like 10, 12 millimeters long. With the Archon Type B, they need to be shorter, and we need to do some tricks like this. And you can see those bosses sticking up right there. That allows us to not only use the limited amount of space that we have down here in the slide, but also machine around there and get a few more threads right there. And what you're really looking for is a minimum of 3 threads. But let's get into the screw, okay? Actually, let's get into the cut here. The as prescribed designed by Shield optic cut looks just like this, except there's 2 more lugs back here. So this is actually the Holosun EPS 407K 507K series, but they share almost identical footprint, so Shield Sights will work on here, but a Holosun optic would not work on your Shield Sights cut gun because there would be a lug right there and a lug right there. But most everyone in the industry now is just doing this cut that way. There's more compatibility. You want to run a Shield RMS-C or something else, go right on ahead. You want to run a Holosun, go right on ahead. Okay, if you have a gun, got a little bit of sticky stuff on my battery. If you had a gun with 2 lugs there and you wanted to run a Holosun on it, it wouldn't sit flush all the way down, because on the Holosun, those holes right there are not there. So what people have done in the past is just file those down, either with a Dremel or with a file. I've heard of that, but it's been a while since I've seen that happen, because most people are using this cut now. Okay, so here is what a RMS-C or RMS and some of the other ones are actually. Here's the fitment. Fitment is quite good. And because of the tapered, you know, like I think I mentioned a little bit ago, the tapered slide, this is a great optic that fits the gun really well, is going to co-witness with your sights, so you don't have to buy an extra set of sights, anything like that. That's the RMS-C. It might as well show you one of their newer optics, which is awesome. And if you're looking at this optic, you're going to see exactly how it fits. This is the RMS-X. So you get a really big window, and when you're doing competition sports style shooting, you're able to, you know, on this one, your window's a little bit smaller. We could all agree windows probably being bigger is better in this case. But also, you have more targets within that glass without being disrupted by the borders black right there. So really developed for sport shooting, competition shooting, but in images, it looked a lot more fragile, but this is some serious metal on this optic. I was really happy to see that. And it's awesome. That glass is great. There's hardly any refraction off of that. Did a really, really good job on that glass. So it does fit just like the RMS-C on the bottom. Great fit there, but then just comes out wide. And then, of course, with the comp on there, it really does balance out the gun. So that's a great optic choice. Now, the size of the screws are going to be the same. And here's another thing to look out for. you want that to be flat. These holes, they're not countersunk. So you want a flat head on there. And this is a 2 millimeter. And the overall length of the screw, which is very important. So the actual threads, you're looking at 6 millimeter. The entire overall length, if this is a low profile, not super low, this is a low profile head, this is the medium size head, the entire length is 8 essentially. So you're at 8, 7.8, and then just for the threads, you're right at 6 millimeter. Okay, hopefully that all showed up on the camera there. And then a little bit of blue Loctite, 2 millimeter hex key, hex head Allen key. And then if I'll show you here, so you can see which way maybe the key is pointed, and it's all the way down. We're going to count until the screw comes out. So we got 1, 2, it's still in there, 3, and it's about, so this is 3 turns exactly at 6 millimeters of threads. You're getting 3 turns exactly. And engineering wise, that is what you're looking for, a minimum of 3 threads. Now here's a little tip. This is the side that you really want to be careful about, because that's where the firing pin guiding sleeve, that channel is tucked up very high. If you wanted to, it's not necessary, but if you wanted to, this one could be 7 and 7.5 millimeter of threads, or maybe even 8 millimeter of threads. It's quite lower the where the extractor is going to go. So if I just measured about that space of what the difference is between this side and that side, you have about another 1.5 millimeter that you could go further down on the right side if you wanted a longer screw there. All right, I think we covered everything. When we put the Shield sights on our guns for customers, we are using these screws right here, and they are M3. And if you buy one of these online, I think they're going to change it soon. We did have a discussion with them to include those. We thought it would be a good thing to have the M3s, but none of these that come with the Shield sights are M3s. So keep that in mind. If you get this sight and you're expecting to put it on an Archon Type B, let's say you got a gun from PTR and you went on Amazon or wherever and you got this sight, don't be discouraged that, well, you're going to be discouraged because you're not going to be able to put your optic on immediately, but just get M3 screws. I think all of these guns are being cut from the factory. I know they are from the factory M3. We've always cut them M3, and you just got to find those M3, 8 millimeter long, full length, 6 millimeter a thread, flat head, flat style, and you'll be good to go, okay? And then we'd recommend put a little bit of blue Loctite on there. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm Jimmy with Range 6. You all take care. Bye.